Hello there, you guys. Welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest transfer rumours and gossip. So potentially, more things is currently updated in the press as I'm going to potentially update you. So reportedly, it's come out in the media. Another name has been now mentioned in the media, and he could possibly potentially make a move to Manchester United in this January transfer window. Reportedly, he's a behind over midfielder. He's called Stephen Bergwijn. Reportedly, he's a winger and he can play on each flank, and that's one of the key positions where we do actually need to strengthen up, especially on that right hand side, because essentially, as I did say, the majority of our attack is coming from the left hand side. So Stephen Bergwijn has been mentioned in the press. He's a PSV Eindhoven midfielder. Reportedly, he's very, very young in his prime. He's only aged 21. He's Dutch, is the player. As I said, he has a contract with PSV until 2022 as the player, but reportedly Solskjaer has told Manchester United, to make an approach for the player. He's very, very young in his prime. Reportedly, his performances for PSV have been very, very impressive, since he's got into the first team, because he's risen up, the youth system very, very well. He risen up the youth system with Ajax, with PSV, in the PSV also reserve team as well. But he has become a regular first team member in PSV's senior team, as we all know. Reportedly supposed to be a very, very decent player. Reportedly Solskjaer had told Manchester United, to go on and sign the player. Reportedly rated at around £25 million. I've heard of his name. It's been in the press the last couple of days that Manchester United could actually make a move for him in this January transfer window, because Solskjaer's obviously confirmed that he doesn't expect us to make any signings. He said it's unlikely we'll make any signings in this January transfer window, and this is what obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed. But Stephen Bergwijn, however you pronounce his surname, if I've pronounced it right, he's been linked with a move to Old Trafford. I think from the player's perspective, he is happy there, to be quite honest with you. He has got a contract with them until 2022, but he's only very, very young. And I think, if he was to come and experience the Premier League, I think he'd grow and develop, very, very well at Manchester United, to be quite honest, because we have got a few youngsters there. We've got Rashford, who's very, very young, and he's nearly made 150 appearances now for Manchester United. 21, progressing up the ranks, being a Manchester United player since the age of 7. We've got Martial, who's very, very young there. We've obviously, got quite a few youngsters in our team, as I currently said, but maybe it would be ideal, to get maybe one or two young players in our squad, that can grow and develop, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And this Stephen Bergwijn is only 21 years of age, as I said. I think he's a winger. Yeah, he can play on each flank, so he's versatile on each flank. Is the player as well. So reportedly, actually, Man United scouted the player, earlier on in the season. So Manchester United have been monitoring an interest in the player, as I currently said. But as I did say, it may be unlikely that we're going to make any signs in this January window. We could still potentially, sign one player this January window. We spent over £400 million on our team. Solskjaer, has brought the fear factor back to the club, because it's 6 wins out of 6. We're looking to get 7 wins out of 7. Today when we do beat Brighton, which I should presume, I do think we will beat Brighton, to be quite honest with you. But he knows the culture of the club, he knows the strappings of the club, Solskjaer, because he was a great player for 11 years, as we all know. And he's watched some of these players, grow and develop. When he used to manage a reserve team, and he did say everybody's going to get the opportunity. So he was discussing about rotating. Was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all currently know. But there's a lot of players, we have been linked with. We all know we do need a strong central defender. That's one of the key areas we need to strengthen up. We need a centre defensive mid, and we need someone on that right hand side, because as I did say, all our attack is coming from the left hand side, as we all currently know. But also we still, Solskjaer knows about this club, because he was a great player, as we all know. He is obviously now the favoured to get the job on a full-time basis, as we all know. I think he's Ed Woodward's #1 target now for Solskjaer, to get the job on a full-time basis. And he did say he'd love to fulfil the role at Manchester United. He'd love to get the job on a full-time basis, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Solskjaer said he'd love to get the job on a full-time basis, as he has confirmed. But it's a great start. As we all clearly know, 6 wins out of 6, 17 goals scored, 3 clean sheets. So hopefully we look to continue that today. But obviously we've still got a lot of players coming to the end of the contract, that do need sorting out. We've still got injuries to Smalling and Marcus Rojo, as we all know. It's confirmed now Alexis Sanchez is obviously back in training. Well, he was back in training, so he'll probably be in contention today, probably come on from the bench. Bailey's now obviously done his 3-match suspension mention as well. As I obviously confirmed too that obviously Manny and Fellaini is out to 3 or 4 weeks with a current calf injury as well now. And I do think, there will be players leaving the club as I have already confirmed to you. I do think that potentially Darmian will be leaving the club as well because obviously Luke Shaw's our first choice left back and Darmian's hardly played this season and he's coming to an end of his contract. So I think he'll be going. Fellaini's obviously out, as I just said, for 3 or 4 weeks, as I said. But I do honestly think Manny and Fellaini will be leaving Manchester United because obviously I don't see how he fits in this new regime and this new system at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you. So I do think Fellaini will be leaving. Reportedly, Solskjaer's open to selling him, for around £15 million, as we all know, because he doesn't, complement our midfield, as we all know, because he's very slow, he's very static. He has been here since 2013, and this is his 6th season now. But I said Matic is slow. Lukaku up front is very, very slow. But I think Matic, to be fair, has dramatically improved under Solskjaer. His distribution's improved. He's looking more effective in his passing and he's galloping forward more. His Matic, so potentially Nemanja Matic has dramatically improved. To be quite honest with you, I do think there will be players going now, and as I did say, there's been talks of Scott McTominay we're going out on loan, as I said. But now due to this Fellaini injury that's has occurred, this Manny and Fellaini injury, he's willing to keep Scott McTominay this month. He's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because essentially we know with Scott McTominay he hasn't played much this season. Man United have been in talks with Celtic over this because reportedly Celtic have been interested in getting Scott McTominay. As I did say, I also too think, Marcus Rojo will be going. There has been talks of Marcus Rojo leaving Manchester United as well. That probably may be in the summer because potentially he's had a difficult time, since he's been at Manchester United, because he is a good option, he's a good backup option, in our defensive line, because potentially Marcus Rojo, as I said, he struggled for consistency since he's been at the club. He struggled to get a run of games under his belt. He's struggled to keep fit. He's had injury problems, as we all currently know, as Marcus Rojo. So I do potentially think that he could be leaving in the summer. I think Phil Jones and Smalling probably will be gone next season as well. So we definitely need reinforcements, in the squad. Definitely we need a strong central defender, as we all currently know. And I also too think, that Antonio Valencia will be going as well. And he's another player that I think is going to be leaving Manchester United. That probably won't be until the summer because he's hardly played this season, Antonio Valencia, for us, to be quite honest with you. He's obviously made 300 appearances since he's been here. He's been here, obviously, since 2009. So we have had him 10 years, or is it nearly 10 years now, as I said. And he's grown and developed over the years. He's 33 years of age and he's hardly played in the Premier League this season for us because obviously, as I did say, Ashley Young is our first choice right back, as we all currently know. But potentially, obviously, we're in talks of still trying to get, players new contracts, as we all know. So what's being mentioned is that potentially we're being in talks of getting Ashley Young a new deal because he's 33. He's coming to an end of his career soon, and obviously he's our first choice right back. But obviously we failed to agree him an extension yet, but we're in talks to get him a new contract. He's been here a good 7-8 years now, Ashley Young, as we all know. He's won everything here, just like Valencia, of course, apart from the Champions League, as I said. But they're both 33 years of age, Ashley Young and Valencia now. We're in talks of getting Hander Herrera a new deal as well. We're in talks of getting Juan Mata a new deal at the club as well. So we have got a lot of players, coming to the end of the contract, as we all currently know, as I said. And as I did say to you yesterday, reports were coming out that we were close to agreeing Martial a new 5-year deal at Manchester United. Reports coming out were close to agreeing Martial a new 5-year contract at Manchester United, which is very, very good news, to be quite fair, because he's still very, very young now. I think he's 23 years of age, is Anthony Martial, but Sky Sports reported yesterday that we were close to getting him a 5-year deal. Obviously, we activated a further 12 months on his current contract to keep him under contract until 2020. But currently, Martial's representatives came out actually saying his agent was pessimistic about him signing a new long-term deal at the club, and his current agent had actually suggested out Anthony Martial's that he did want to leave, Manchester United during the course of last summer. But we know how influential he is. Very, very good young player. Still got years and years ahead of him, to grow and develop. As we all know, he's performed very, very well this season. Scored goals this season. As I said, as Anthony Martial, but reportedly we're on the brink of signing him a new 5-year deal, and he has been here since 2015, is it? So he's been here a good 3.5 years, 4 years now, as Anthony Martial. But reportedly we are close to signing him a 5-year deal, which is very, very good. But I think he's good on the left-hand side. He creates that width very, very well, to quite honest here. Causes problems for fullbacks, with the physical attributes he's got, with his pace, which is unbelievable. And he can score and he can, provide assists as well. So Solskjaer obviously wants him to sign a new long-term deal as well. And I think Martial will. but it says it will be a 5-year deal, which will take him till 2024. It'll take him under contract till 2024 if he's to agree a new 5-year deal with the club, and that was actually reported in the press yesterday. But I think we look very, very effective when we've got Martial on the left, when you've got Rashford in centrally, because Rashford looks very, very effective, when he's in the middle, in that number 9 is Marcus Rashford, to quite honest with you. He's very, very effective. I think Lingard, stands out very, very well on the right-hand side. But as I did say, Lukaku, I do have concerns about him, to be quite honest with you, Romelu Lukaku, because he is a proven goal scorer in the Premier League. He scored like 45 goals for Belgium, as we all know, and he has struggled this season for consistency. I know he scored 3 goals in his in the last 3 games, before the Tottenham game, 2 of them with some substitutes, and he can, adapt. There's areas of his game he does need to adapt, but he can do that under the management of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But as I did say, I just don't think he complements our front line, Romelu Lukaku, because he's slow, as we all know. His first touch does concern a lot of people, as we all know. But you've got he hasn't got the pace of like Martial, who can press out the pitch. He hasn't got the pace like Rashford, who can press out the pitch and finish. He hasn't got the pace like Lingard and that. So I don't see how he complements our front line, and to be quite honest with Romelu Lukaku. But potentially, I think he'll be an impact, from a substitute. Being a substitute, I think he'll be an impact, will Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, we've still got David De Gea. I think De Gea is committed his long-term future at Manchester United. As we all know, he's potentially the best goalkeeper in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. As we all know, De Gea made an incredible 11 saves, against Tottenham in the second half. He's made over 300 appearances since he's been here, David De Gea. I think he potentially wants to become one of the club's highest played players if he is to commit to a new long-term deal. I think De Gea is demanding he wants around at least £300,000 a week if he's to sign a new deal with Man United. So he's demanding, obviously, he wants a wage increase in this new deal if he is to sign it. He's currently on £200,000 a week at the moment, is De Gea, but essentially the best goalkeeper in the world. And we know he was on the verge of joining Real Madrid in 2015, but it didn't happen. As we all know, it didn't happen. But we know that Juventus and also, Paris Saint-Germain were interested in him as well. But he's committed his long-term future in Manchester United. And he was, discussing about, being up there, challenging for silverware and major honours, as we all know. And this is what David De Gea was demanding. But now we've got Solskjaer in. He's brought the fear factor back. He's turned everything around. I think, we can do this and we can elevate to that higher level, where we want to be and get in that commanding positions. I think, De Gea will want to stay at Manchester United, as we all know. But we have been in talks of signing him a new long-term deal at the club as well. And I do think, we will do it, to be quite honest with you. As I said, but as I was saying, about Marcus Rojo, as I said, I do think he will be going. As we all know, there's some of the reports coming out the other day saying that, get rid of Rojo to make way for Koulibaly. As we all know, to make room for Koulibaly to fulfill that central defence position, because we know that we've been heavily linked to Koulibaly. As we all know, it's probably a deal that's probably likely to happen in the summer, to be quite honest, because the Napoli president's confirmed they're not willing to do any business in this January window. Obviously, he's unhappy in Italy. He's been in Italy a number of years now, with Napoli as Koulibaly. Obviously, still under contract with them till 2023, of course. Is Koulibaly, as we all currently know. But as I did say, he's unhappy in Italy. The majority of it is due to the racial abuse he suffered last year back on Boxing Day. This is why he feels unhappy, with Napoli. But he's one of the best, players in the world in his current position. As I said, he's 27 years of age. He's about 6'5", as we all know, and he complement our back line fantastically well with Koulibaly. In the process, we've been in negotiations, and so far we've had 3 bids turned down. A recent one was 95 million, as we all know, but we know it will cost us in the excess of over 100 odd million at least, to get the player on the board. But we have got that financial power, to meet that valuation, as we all know, for Koulibaly. And he would be a great signing. I think he'd be a good leader in our back line. I think he'd complement our defensive line fantastically well with Koulibaly. But I think he's open to the move. Report Smith is saying he is open to leave Napoli and he is willing to make the move to Old Trafford. So I think potentially, Koulibaly is actually interested, in coming in, to be quite honest, because I think he'd look good alongside Lindelof, because Lindelof, has improved this season, to be quite fair. Victor Lindelof, has improved this season, as we all know. So I think he'd look very, very good with Koulibaly alongside him, as I said. We know with other central defenders, with potentially, being linked with as well, that have been, talking about, in the media. Eder Militao's been another potential Manchester United target. Obviously, he's a very, very good player, the Militario. He's only very, very young in his prime. He's 20 years of age. He can play as a defensive mid. He can play as a centre back, and he can also play as a full back. I think he's predominantly a right back. He's Eder Militario. To be quite honest with you, he only signed for Porto last summer. As we all know, he only signed for Porto last summer. He's Brazilian. As we all know, he's the player as well. But reportedly, he's got a 40 odd million release clause in his contract with Porto. I still think he's got 4 years left on his deal with Porto as well. But we've reportedly been interested in, I think, Real Madrid have also expressed their interest in him as well. Eder Militao. We know there's been talks in Milan Skriniar. He's been mentioned in the media as well, but recent reports have been coming out about that the Inter Milan boss has confirmed that no one can afford Milan Skriniar. He's only 23 years of age. He's obviously 4 years younger than Koulibaly. Koulibaly is obviously our number one to strengthen up in that defensive area, as we all know. But Milan Skriniar has been, Ed Woodward's identified him as a potential target. Milan Skriniar is Slovakian, 23 years of age, been in Milan since 2017, as we all know. And he has got good physical attributes, as this Milan Skriniar. And as I did say, he's Slovakian. I still think he's got 3 years left on his deal with Inter Milan, to be quite honest with you, as Milan Skriniar. But potentially, I think it could be unlikely now, as Inter Milan have confirmed no one can afford him. He's rated at around 70 odd million pounds. Is this player reportedly? So yeah, no, potentially nobody can afford him. Potentially, nobody can afford him. We know we've heard that we've been linked with Toby Alderweireld, and who else has been mentioned? Costas Manolas. We have been linked with them. So we have been linked with quite a few defenders, as we all know. Potentially, we know that rumours keep coming out about Philippe Coutinho, that potentially that we have been linked with Philippe Coutinho. We know that we do keep hearing the rumours about Philippe Coutinho, guys, to be quite honest with you. As I did say, I think if he was to come to United, which I think is very unlikely, especially in this window, I think he'd be a great addition to our squad, to be quite honest with you. Coutinho, Man United have reportedly been in talks with Barcelona. Man United have approached Philippe Coutinho's representatives reportedly over this, and I think he feels unhappy in Spain, does Philippe Coutinho, to be quite honest with you. He does feel unhappy in Spain, does Coutinho. Due to that, he hasn't been getting enough game time lately, so he has been getting irregular starts, with Barcelona, and he's only been at Barcelona a year. He's got a long contract. He's done a year of his contract. Barcelona obviously paid £142 million for him last January. That does potentially, I think, make him the third most expensive player in world football, behind Mbappe and behind Neymar, of course. But he hasn't made the impact at Barcelona. He hasn't lived to expectation levels, as everyone thought Coutinho would have done, because he did absolutely phenomenal, when he was at Liverpool. As we all know, he was phenomenal at Liverpool. He flourished very, very well, with Liverpool. He grew and developed very, very well with Liverpool. And during his 5 years with Liverpool, he was very, very good was Philippe Coutinho. But he hasn't done it at Barcelona, to be quite honest with you, and we know it would cost us in the excess probably of at least £100 odd million, to get Philippe Coutinho on the board as well. I don't think he's open to the move just as yet, but if this does continue to happen, and it does happen, until the summer, then Coutinho may leave Barcelona in the summer, but I don't think he'll leave in this January transfer window, to quite honest with you. But his versatility is very, very good. He can provide, he can score goals, can Coutinho, as we all know, and Coutinho can play as an attacking mid. He can also operate as a second striker, and he can play on each wing as well. But I think his main position is an attacking mid, to be quite honest with you, is Coutinho. But he's Premier League proven, as we all know, because he had 5 years in the Premier League with Liverpool, and he knows about the Premier League. And I think he'd do very, very well if he was to come to Manchester United. To be quite honest with you, I think he'd complement our team very, very well, score his goals, provide as well. And he is a very, very good player, as I said, but he hasn't really proven himself at Barcelona. Obviously, he actually used to play under Mauricio Pochettino as well, did Coutinho. Obviously, when he was on loan at Espanyol in 2012, and obviously Pochettino was managing Espanyol at the time as well, and he actually began his senior career with Inter Milan, and Liverpool paid £8.5 million for him from Inter Milan, Philippe Coutinho as well. But there has been a lot of rumours, going on about that in the last couple of weeks in the media, what I have heard as well, but I don't think it'll happen anyway, to be quite honest with you. But the media reports have been reporting that reportedly Solskjaer told Man United to go sign Steven Bergwijn. He's a PSV midfielder, can play on each wing. He's under contract with PSV till 2023. He is Dutch, he's the player. He's only very, very young in his prime. He's 21 years of age, as I currently said. He's a PSV player, and reportedly he's progressing up the ranks fantastically well, broke into the first team. His performances in the first team, have been very, very impressive indeed. Man United have, previously scouted the player, as I currently said. He's been mentioned in the last couple of days as this Stephen Bergwijn, as I said, but I think Solskjaer's keen on getting him in because Solskjaer's told Manchester United to make an initial approach for the current player. Whether he's willing to leave PSV or not, I do not know. He's rated at around £25 million, is this Stephen Bergwijn, to be quite honest with you. That's what he's rated at. But as I said, we're looking very, very good under Solskjaer. Now he's number one. He's favourite now to get the job at Manchester United, of course, which is very, very good indeed because it's 6 wins out of 6, as we all know. So he's become the first manager to win his first 6 games. So potentially he has beaten Matt Busby's record. Obviously, not in the league because it's 5 league wins and 1 FA Cup win, as we all know. But if we do win today, he has beaten Sir Matt Busby's record in the Premier League as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. 17 goals scored, 3 clean sheets, as we all know. But vast improvements. There's been a lot of vast improvements since Solskjaer's come in because he's changed everything at the club. He's got the team motivated. He's got the team playing with confidence. I think Pogba's expressed himself very, very well. He's scoring, he's providing, he's getting the freedom to express himself more. He's Pogba, as I currently said. And I think the team are interchanging together well. I think they're gelling together as a team, working very, very hard, scoring goals, as we've seen as well, creating more chances. As I said, and I think the front men are getting, they're getting the freedom to interchange calls together. And have you noticed the fullbacks are getting higher up the pitch as well? Central defenders are galloping forward more, getting more involved, which is very, very good to see. So he has brought that attacking football that we used to see under Alex Ferguson for 27 good years, as we all currently know. So he has brought, the fear factor back to the club. As we all know, because we have been playing catch up for 5 years or so, since Alex Ferguson retired. But as I did say, the confidence is back in the team now, and obviously, our aim this season is to get into that top 4 position, and I still think top 4 is definitely on, because I definitely see Arsenal and Chelsea definitely dropping points. We're obviously level on points with Arsenal at the moment. Arsenal do Chelsea today, obviously, as I did confirm. But our objective this season is to get top 4, get Champions League for next season, and hopefully next season get prepared, maybe get some signings in the summer, because we might still make signings January window, but I think I doubt it, to be quite honest with you. I don't see it happening, to be quite honest with you. We may still do, we may still do, as I currently said, but obviously our objective for next season is to get us back up there, get us into that commanding position we want to be in, and get us back up there competing for major honours, and get us back up there competing with the likes of City and Liverpool, as I currently said. But our aim this season is to obviously, get in that top 4, as we all know, and that's the most important thing, as we all know. But if Martial was to commit to this new 5-year deal that reportedly is on the verge of signing, this would be fantastic, for this January transfer window for us if Martial does sign it, as he currently said. But also, I updated you earlier on, didn't I, of what the other news were going on about Arsenal and Chelsea. Nothing much more was updated about that as yet, but we'll be on this channel, when more things update, to keep you up to date with that, as I said. But we've got Brighton at home today. Should be an easy win for Manchester United, Old Trafford, as I said. We have lost our 2 previous visits, against Brighton, at the Amex Stadium. We've lost our 2 previous visits, 3-2 and 1-0, I think, we lost at Brighton. But at home, we should beat them at home, to be quite honest with you. Brighton are not a very, very good side. The 13th, I think they've lost 10 games out of 22 this season, of Brighton and Albion. But I think that definitely we're going to win this game. So I think he'll probably play a similar lineup, to how he played against Tottenham, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, Bay's done his match suspension, as I said. Smalling and Rojo were still injured. Sanchez obviously confirmed he were back in training, so Sanchez probably won't start, but he'll probably come on as a substitute in the game, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, he's our highest paid player, Sanchez, on £500,000 a week, and there's areas of his game he does need to adapt, but Sanchez has still got pace and he can provide. As I said, he could improve under the brilliance of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to be quite honest with you. But a lot of things have changed since Solskjaer's come in. The players changed, the style of players changed, everything's just totally changed. He doesn't rest on his laurels, Solskjaer, and he does show that inspiration, as we all know, and he likes it here. He likes working with the coaching staff. He likes Kieran McKennie, and he likes Michael Carrick, the Solskjaer, and he's brought positivity back to the club amongst the fans and the players, and you can just see the belief in the players that they do want to play for this manager, which is very, very good to see. But there's still key areas, in our squad, that we do potentially need to address. But if you've just tuned in, to update you with Stephen Bergwijn, he's a PSV winger, can play on each flank, under contract with PSV till 2022. He's Dutch, he's 21 years of age, so he's young in his prime. He's got good physical attributes as he's playing. Since he's got into the first team, he has been scoring goals, he has been providing as this
Steven Bergwijn, and I think he'd complement our team very, very well if he was to come into this Steven Bergwijn. I'm funny saying that because I don't really know much about him. I've actually never heard of the player until I've just seen his name in the press, but read some of his stats. He can score goals and he can provide assists as well. And I think it'd be really, really good that he can play on each wing. And we've got Martial that mainly plays on that left hand side wing. You've obviously got Rashford that operates better centrally, but he can play on a wide position. Can Rashford and Lingard, who's young as well, who can play on that right hand side. So I think he'd complement them very, very well with Steven Bergwijn because he's very, very young in his prime as well. So that's the latest news to update you. That and Solskjaer's actually told Manchester United to go on and go sign him, reportedly. But yeah, that's been everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. We'll be back soon with some more live videos. Take care.